We'll go with Aaron Pryor, another all-time great. Or really, is he? I'll let you tell me a little bit on this one.
You let me say it. I know why, because you think he's overrated. Um, I just think he was a tough son of a bitch, and
Oh,
he came with everything, and he had an awkward style. He could box a little bit. He could apply pressure, and maybe without the bottle, he he does he didn't seem to get tired. But if that was a 12 round fight, there would have been no bottle.
yeah. But you know what? And it is almost blasphemous to say that Aaron Pryor was overrated. But when you look at his
That's
overall
what you
record,
say, not me.
for me to say that he's overrated, well, I'm sure other people, so there's somebody else out there who may think so. But Aaron Pryor's overall record, I know, well, generally when you talk about all-time greats, you have to look at the record. You just can't look at what they've done, the way they looked, and what you might have think they could have done against somebody else. And even though he was locked out and didn't get a chance to fight the Four Kings at all, it still leaves a lot to be desired. We just don't know until we know. And in his case, when it comes down to the Four Kings, we don't know anything. We don't know anything. We only
Yeah,
know about Kid Cervantes. You know, Kid Cervantes not a pushover, but definitely not an all-time great. And that's the fight that he won. And then he beats Arguello, a smaller fighter who moves
yeah.
up to fight him. I mean, you're supposed to beat this guy. And then you had two fights and you went
And
tooth and nail with him in the first fight.
yeah.
Needed a bottle.
Give me another
First
bottle.
fight,
Give me another bottle. The one I mix. Okay?
he needed the bottle.
Come
But
on.
is it a coincidence that Panama gave him the mix and then he went out and knocked him out that following round? I don't know. I think it's probably more than a coincidence, but whatever. He, like I said, he's a tough son of a bitch. Arguello hit him as clean as anyone has ever been hit. Probably as clean as Hearns hit Duran, and he just ate it and kept coming.
But you know what? Once again, let's look at the reality. I'll take the emotion out of it. We're talking about a 140-pounder fighting a fighter moving
I know.
up in
I'm
weight.
just saying.
You're supposed to eat them shots and be able to handle it. If you're a super fighter in your own weight class, even without the bottle, you should be able to handle that.
Other fighters didn't.
No,
That's all
other
I'm
fighters
saying.
didn't because, and we're not calling other fighters great fighters like we're calling Aaron
Pryor
Pryor
said
a great
that
fighter.
shot made him look straight up at the
At the
lights.
lights. Yeah, and I saw the punch. Yeah, he did look at those lights and he kept fighting on. See, there's no taking away his heart because Aaron Pryor, there's no question that his heart was what it was. But then I think people just automatically take the liberty of putting him up against somebody like Sugar Ray Leonard or Tommy Hearns because he beat him in the amateurs. You know, they start using their imaginations more than they use what's there, what happened. You know what I mean? And try to come to a reasonable conclusion with it. And you know, I look at even more than just the Cervantes fight and even the fight against the two fights against Arguello. I mean, I look at the Dewan Johnson fight. That's a fight that's completely underrated. Dewan Johnson was trained by Manny Stewart, came out of the Kronk gym, and he knocked down Aaron Pryor in the beginning of the first round. And going into that fifth round, he was down on all scorecards. Now, he came back in eventually at one, but this is Dewan Johnson we're talking about. This isn't one of the Four Kings. This isn't just anybody else that we even know of unless you kept up with boxing in the 80s, especially in the Midwest. I mean, bro, he had problems, man. I understand he's been knocked down before. He's gotten back up with his antics of winding his arms up or doing the Ali shuffle. But Dewan Johnson isn't supposed to do that to you, even though he's had some talent and even though he was trained by the legendary Emmanuel Stewart. I see Floyd Mayweather just picking him apart. Floyd just at 140 pounds, doing what he, not that, look, Aaron Pryor was easy to hit. So was Arturo Gatti. And we saw what Floyd did to him.
Yeah, but come on, Gaddy's no Pryor.
Oh, of course not. But he takes punches.
But Floyd is so technically sound. If Pryor gets wild, it's just gonna make it easier for Floyd. I see a unanimous decision. Early on, there'll be some moments here and there, but by fourth or fifth round, Floyd probably figures him out and starts to do his thing. Probably 116, 112, something like that.
And I'll go back to even the class we just talked about a minute ago with Jesus Chavez. That's the guy that puts the pressure on you. He threw a lot of punches, but he didn't give you the movement that Aaron Pryor gave with his angles and ridiculous punching angles and whatnot. But Floyd, after the first 4 rounds, he's processed information the way he can sit back there and decide if he wants to pot shot you at 140 pounds, whether he wants to embarrass you like he did Arturo Gatti. And this is the fight I see him winning. I mean, I see him winning this fight as well. So 2-0 right now, at least for us, 52-0 for Floyd. This fight here goes 12 rounds. Aaron Pryor isn't going to get knocked out. We're talking about Aaron Pryor at his best, not when he got knocked down, when he got back after the drug issues and everything else. Yeah, Floyd, 2-0 right now. So that's pretty impressive with Floyd going against 7 of the greats. But there are several greats left for Floyd to conquer or try not to get conquered by.